Anger is a fire, fierce and consuming, born from the friction between our expectations and reality. It ignites in moments of perceived injustice, betrayal, or frustration, demanding attention with a force that cannot be ignored. Anger is primal, ancient, and deeply human. It courses through us like a storm, shaking the foundations of our composure and demanding to be reckoned with. But what is anger, truly, if not a messenger? At its core, anger is a signal. It tells us something about our boundaries, our values, and our wounds. When we feel anger, it is as though our spirit is crying out, "This matters to me." It draws a line in the sand, pointing to something we believe is worth protecting. In this way, anger can be a teacher, if only we are willing to listen. It demands that we pay attention, that we examine the source of our discomfort. Is our anger righteous, stemming from genuine harm or unfairness? Or is it misplaced, born from misunderstandings, pride, or fear? Yet, anger is a double-edged sword. While it can fuel courage and inspire action, it can also consume us, leaving destruction in its wake. An unchecked fire does not discriminate. It burns whatever lies in its path, including the things we hold dear. When anger is wielded without care, it blinds us, narrowing our perspective until we see only the flames and not the person standing across from us. In our quest for justice or validation, we risk losing sight of compassion and connection. But here is the truth that is both brutal and comforting. Anger is not inherently bad. It is neither our enemy nor our savior. It is simply an emotion, a response to the world around us and within us. What matters is what we do with it. Do we let it fester, turning into bitterness that poisons our hearts? Do we lash out, using it as a weapon against others or even ourselves? Or do we sit with it, allowing it to guide us toward understanding and growth? To sit with anger is not easy. It requires courage to face the raw intensity of our feelings without immediately acting on them. It requires honesty to acknowledge the parts of ourselves that anger reveals, our insecurities, our fears, our unmet needs. And it requires patience to let the fire subside enough to see clearly. But in this process, we find something profound. Anger, when tempered with reflection, can become a source of strength. It can fuel change, both within ourselves and in the world. Imagine anger as a forge, a place where raw emotions are melted down and reshaped into something purposeful. When we channel our anger wisely, it becomes a force for good. It pushes us to stand up for what is right, to protect what we love, to demand better for ourselves and others. It reminds us that we are alive, that we care deeply, that we are not indifferent to the world's imperfections. And when the fire of anger fades, as all fires eventually do, what remains is clarity. We see the situation more fully, with both its pain and its potential for healing. We see that anger, for all its intensity, is transient. It does not define us unless we let it. What defines us is how we respond, how we choose to act in the aftermath of the storm. So, let us not fear anger, nor let it control us. Let us meet it with both respect and discernment, understanding that it has a role to play in the tapestry of our emotions. Let us use it as a tool, not as a master, to build rather than destroy. And when we feel its heat rising within us, let us remember, anger is not the end of the story. It is an invitation to grow, to learn, and to transform.